All right, so this is the Drupal usability meeting for February 7th, 2017. And we'll look at the media library patch, the status page redesign, look at the Mona Lisa theme for CK Editor, and a bunch of other things. I think we'll start with media.
Okay. So for media cards, right now we have the metadata of the title, and we did have the created by name, and we had the days ago created, and it was discussed in the issue. Let's see, I'll find the issue number. In the issue number 2828538. There was a discussion going on about changing out some of that metadata, potentially having file name, getting rid of the created by, adding the media type. And so I think we've mostly settled on having the media type because that's really useful for people to know whether something's YouTube or if it's an image or a PDF or any types that are available, and then and still having the time created. But I just wanted to know if anyone else had any ideas or thoughts on that.
The exact file size in kilobytes. No. It's one of those defaults I often see that I think, No, media type seems like very useful, no-brainer to me. I think that list that you just summed up would be a good starting point. Anybody else miss something?
Does the media type need to be called out? Like, is it not visible from the thumbnail, or could it not be visible from the thumbnail? Like, for example, if the thumbnail has a little play button in the middle of it, that it's a video, and if it doesn't, it's an image, and if it has a little thing.
So right now, the media thumbnail uses the file that's available for that. So it would kind of depend if what comes in has a play button, then that might be. Oh, here I can grab the issue. There we go. But by default, there isn't necessarily something that will tell someone what kind of media they're looking at in the image, especially since there could be multiple media types that have images. So you could have like a slideshow media type that someone's created, and so it might have one image, and that might look the same as an image media type, but it would be different.
Hey, Emily, you want to share your screen just so people can?
Sure.
Maybe.
But we also don't want to read alone, accessibility-wise.
Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have an example of, so instead of created by admin, it would say, PDF there.
That seems
so
more
since you
could, who, because people come and go from organizations, and it doesn't really matter who uploaded something.
So let's see, let me pull up.
The days ago does seem relevant, though, because then you know, like, oh, that picture of the city's from 4 years ago. That's not the one that I want in the article. Because now that tower was built, or whatever. A city is not a tree. It's very true.
It's a good essay, too.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that was an essay.
Yeah, it's about city planning.
So
But,
file name makes no sense to me, because I get that that would be an important differentiator, but I feel like you could, if correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're hovering over the thing, your status bar in your browser at the bottom is going to tell you the file name that you're about to click on. Is that correct?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's a modal.
It's the entity, it's not a file, it's the entity.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But I think if people are looking for that level of complex information, probably a list view is going to be more helpful for them.
True,
That
and
was-
that's another option that they could look at, right? So if they hit the list view, do you have a screenshot of what that looks like?
I don't, but I posted, let's see, I imagine it would be something a bit similar to this. So you could have the title, you'd have the file name available instead of file size and file
size
name.
in kilobytes.
File
Yes,
size.
Right, yeah, not that.
that's
Instead,
my favorite size in
the
kilobytes.
media type and the created date, that information.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's not the switchers, stuff like that is not part of the MVP though, but it could be implemented later.
Yeah.
I think the challenge with, so we would need to make up an overlay icon type of thing if we would want to somehow expose that as part of the image, the preview.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Because like a video still image could look like the same as an image, and a tweet could look like the same as a PDF, depending on how the preview is generated. Like the contrib module, the Twitter integration generates an SVG preview of the tweet. So you can see the tweet in the thumbnail, which is pretty cool.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to tell though from like if it's a PDF or whatever, because it's text. So yeah, those kind of things would need to have another icon somewhere, and that would compete with the check mark here. And
Yeah. Okay, so shut up, Andy. That's a terrible idea. I got it. You don't know that. Trying it out. Anyway, so yeah, I think getting rid of posted by admin, replacing with image or PDF or whatever, that looks pretty good to me. Can we just agree and go with that?
yeah.
I know it goes against what Dries said, because Dries wanted the file name, but I think if we explain that the list view, which will eventually be forthcoming at some point, will have the file name, I think that's a good way to address that concern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
Woohoo!
Also, this is got to be a view, so Dries can set it up the way he wants to have the file name.
You can maybe append the file name with the full date that it was uploaded with the MIME type of the file in one column. I think that sounds like a good thing. Okay.
All of those are possible in views with tokens and stuff. It's built in core.
All right, so I'm going to take over screen sharing for a second here. I'm going to respond here and say, we talked about this on the UX meeting today and decided between myself, Emily, Gabor, Cikrina, is that how you spell your name? I'm sorry. Cikrina?
Yeah. Well, spelling name, yeah. Christina, it's my name.
Is anybody? Nope. For the thumbnail view, we should go node title or entity title, I guess. And then please go uploaded and type into image, PDF, etc. In the list view, this is a good place to put the file name and the person. Are we putting a person who uploaded it or not, even in the detail view? I think we're not. I think.
Yeah, I think the idea was to just have the current metadata plus the file name.
It's useful when you can add after the fact. And also, since these are all views we're talking about here, it's possible for those We do want the file name front and center to configure the library that way. Woohoo! Good? Anything
Yes.
else? Sorry, Roy, were you saying something?
I was saying, yeah, good.
Save. Excellent. Then I'm going to quickly do the CK editor one because I figured out what I need to do for that, and it's going to take 5 seconds, I think. And then we'll do the status page one, as long as we're not got Ted on the call yet. So, okay, so consider switching to Mona Lisa. Okay, so basically, as of CK Editor 4.6, they've changed their default skin from Muno to Mona Lisa because they're clever like that. Here's the old skin. You can see it has kind of bevel and emboss kind of shit that is very 90s. Nice, you know, outlines on the lines and so on. And here's the new skin, which is nice and flat. Doesn't use strong borders around the buttons themselves, just on the, you know, border between button groups. There's also a screenshot here to show it meshing a lot better with the 7 theme, because the way that this is designed is very close to the way that this is designed. The other compelling reason to do this is because they've changed the default from the old version to the new version. That means that their bug fixes, their feature requests, all that kind of stuff are going to go against the default theme, and the old one is going to be kind of in maintenance only mode. So that's another compelling reason to do this change. But I guess I wanted to run this past some actual designer folk who are not Kevin and make sure that you agree that this seems like a really good change that we should get into 8.4 definitely, but perhaps even 8.3 if it's ready in time. Any objections to moving from this to this?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Great.
Much better.
All right. There was unanimous consensus on our US meeting today that this is a good direction for us to move in for 8.4 and 8.3 if by some miracle we get it in time. By the way, the deadline for the hard deadline for 8.3, well, the deadline for H3 was actually last Wednesday, but between Alpha 1 and Beta 1, which is February 15th, but basically February 13th because of the code freeze deadlines, we have we can selectively backport certain things that seem high impact enough. And this does seem high impact since we did move to CK editors 4.6, sorry. This does seem like a pretty high impact thing, but right now this only has screenshots. It does not yet have a patch. So if someone wants to patchify this, that would be useful. Okay, anything else to say here? Okay. Save. Next, redesign the status page. So I started making a simply test me over here. For those who weren't here for the last meeting, by the way, that Muano, actually, let me see. Okay, the media issue that we talked about earlier is 2828538. Close that now. The CK editor Muno theme is 2831442. Close that out. And then the redesigned status report page is 665790. Notice that nice 6-digit thing. That's because this issue has been living around since 2009. Woohoo! So it'd be good to get this one resolved. Okay, so here's our 8.4. What this patch does, for those who weren't around last week, is it changes the status overview page, status report, there you go. to this thing with like, holy shit icons and stuff, you know, and like last front run information, and then puts everything else below the table that is not actually that important to know about in your face all this stinking time. It's also fancy in that if, for example, we were to resolve this warning, you know, by moving to a different release, and there were no more warnings, it would auto span these columns. And if we only had good things, it would just be a full call span across all three. So very fancy, nice in-your-face stuff that you have to deal with. The report is organized with stuff you have to deal with first, second, third, and then just kind of the smorgasbord of everything else below it. So I love everything about this patch, except that last time we did an actual review of the code and we found a few issues. And the ones that I remember, well, I'll just go back to the comment. That's probably the easiest thing. Here we go. So number 0 was it looks absolutely amazing. That was an important point. We use BR in some places, which I know front-end developers yell at me when I do that. So I figured we should change that. We were talking about not making changes to the generic like color and table CSS things, and instead overriding styles where we need to just for this one particular page. Oh yeah, we should check it in Stark again. And then that was kind of a red herring. So let me quick check this in Stark. It's always a good thing to do. Stark is basically what Drupal shows when you have no theme. And so it's good to make sure that your stuff shows up in some sort of a thing that makes sense for that theme as well. Status report. Cool. So we have the warnings, details. We have these collapsible thingies. We talked about that's the default, and I think that makes sense. Because no one in reality is going to actually do what I did on the last call and click each one of these, but they will do it on their errors and warnings, which is fine. So I think that's all good. And the other thing that was happening last time is one of these, I can't remember if it was this top one or the bottom one of them did not have the icons, and now they both have the icons, so I think that looks great. Okay, so let's look at the patch. Last patch is this one by Chris Rockwell. Let's take a look. And unfortunately, I don't have Dredditor, so we're all going to have to suffer through not having that. Anything else that anyone knows of that's updated since last time that we should call out? Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of page through this. So once again, we set up a new element type called status report, so we can reuse this in other contexts if we want. Update some test coverage to deal with the different markup. So here we have actual components for system status. It's good. Anyone else have things to add? Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of meander around here. Looks like a resounding no. Good stuff. Status report page is a new element. So we specifically call out these things. We talked about how if you wanted to add additional cases to special case here, you could do it in a pre-render or something like that. Okay. Here's the theme output. Oh. Okay. We're moving this preprocess function, but that's okay because preprocess functions are internal. Here's our new status report counter. So I see now instead of divs, we're using spans here, which can some front ender weigh in? Is that acceptable from a semantic point of view? Yep. Much better than BR tags, I'm guessing.
Yes, much better.
Okay, cool. Here's a different headings. This all looks really good. I like that they've documented all of the stuff that comes in here. Okay. Here's that fancy like auto call whip thing. That's really cool. So this is just redesigning this. This is in which theme? This is in system. I think that's okay because where we don't want to do this is in this stable theme. Stable theme. So 7 gets that update as well. There's a few more overrides in the 7 theme here, but that seems okay. Oh, I'll just check it in RTL again, but I checked it in RTL last time and it was fine. And I don't think anything materially would have changed, but just to be on the safe side. Oh, Windows. Plus, it's super fun to browse your site in Arabic, so. Or maybe we'll do Hebrew this time, just for something. Or I don't remember what we did last time. We did languages. Add a language. Add Hebrew. And then make this the default. Proof. Reports. Status report. There you go. Yep, that looks how it should. There's a couple weird white space things, but that's fine. Review each of these SVG points in total, and I'm just kidding. Blah, blah, SVG. There we go. JavaScripty stuff. That's a minor thing. That shouldn't wrap at 80 characters. Span, expand, okay. This is basically the same templates just copied into. Okay, here we go. Stable theme. I think this is okay. The one thing I'm worried about is that the deal with stable theme is it's supposed to not change between point releases, so you can use it as a base theme and it won't ever fuck up your site. And we are definitely adding stuff to the stable theme here. So that might, I'm going to commit it anyway, because I actually think that's fine because it's new stuff, but that's the only thing that might have to be revisited with this in the end. However, that all looks good to me. So,
well, I believe the stable means the same way as we have stable APIs, that we are backwards compatible, but we can expand it,
yeah,
not in a way that we're not gonna expand it.
Yeah, I believe that is correct. So we're gonna go with that. You heard it here first, folks. Oh God, this is gonna take so long. All right. Whew. Well, actually, most people are already selected, so that's good. Oh man, and there's 2 pages for this issue and everything. All right, so I'm gonna do this. Did Ted happen to come on in the meantime? Nope. All right, so you all get to sit here and wait while I figure out who gets credit for this issue. It's going to be awesome, fun times. Oh, dear. I'm very tempted to just check everybody off, but I won't, because you never know. There might be that sneaky person that's just trying to get credit. Like him! Ha! No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like the only thing Dries did is he tagged it favorite of Dries.
Okay, so we cannot do that.
That's his one comment.
Definitely an improvement. Yeah, we're not giving you credit for that. Although, yay encouragement. That's really good.
That's true. Yes, that's true.
But not quite.
But you are you? So there's multiple pages. So are you only looking at this page?
Well, these people for now all only have one comment. So
Oh,
I have.
yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
So I'm just
you're
trying
right.
All right, well, that's a sizable comment, talking about different feedbacks and stuff. So I think that's worthy of credit. Banner. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get credit for switching the component. Reality Loop. This is like the who's who of Drupal, though. It's pretty cool. Before and after screenshots, actually, I'm totally going to credit for that because that's super helpful. Roy Douglas. I'm totally giving him credit too, or her. It's your first sprint. You looked at it. You worked with other people. That's cool. Orison has nitpicks. That's good. You're not on this page. Okay, that's useful trivia, but not actually going to get you credit. Dries just added favorite of Dries. Wretched Sinner, saved by grace. That's a very elaborate name. I don't think so, sorry.
Kika.
Yeah, old school, man. That is a fairly sizable, do that. Mosh. Wait, that's not helpful. I mean, it's a little helpful, but www. That's helpful too. Oh God, hold on. Let's only check boxes on one of the screens, not on both of them. Okay, long way. That's helpful. I don't know, guys. I'm doing my best here. That seems like a sizable review. So we're going to go yes on that. Hebdritt. Did that right? Hebdritt. There we go. I like giving first-time sprinters credit, guys. Sorry, I can't help it. I'm giving me credit because I've reviewed it, right? Catch. He committed it? Oh my God, we did 2 redesigns in this issue? That's terrible. Holy shit. Well, anyway, I'm gonna give Catch credit because he committed the first time we did a redesign. Okay, he's helping out with Slack conversations and such. Oriel is like going back a ways too. What's his name? Or Yol. For some reason that's not finding you. There you are. Cross-control integration. Mr. Felton. Two kind of design. Yep. Some useful feedback there. Lewis Nyman. And the style guide. Reviews, that's useful. In fact, guys, I'm just gonna do this. Because if you added that many comments, you probably had something useful to say. Okay? Look at that. Holy crap. Okay, here we go. This might be the most credited issue in Drupal history. I'm not sure. Does it actually have everybody, though? Okay. I think so. Okay, guys. Anyone up for a drum roll? Push. Wait.
Did you actually commit it, or you just checked the? Oh, you applied. You did.
No, I'm committed. Oh, you know what? It doesn't like. Wah wah. Okay. Where is that? That's in status report. Thanks.
One warning affecting one line.
Unused use statement. That's not true. That's most definitely used.
Well, it's the same namespace, so it's Drupal core render element.
Oh.
The same space that we are in, so it's unused.
I see.
It could be eliminated, in other words.
Okay. All right. So the problem is that it didn't take my fancy commit message. So, one sec. Here we go. We get to this is getting to be the is it git commit amend? Yeah. Oh, but not like that. All right. There, git log. See all that fanciness? Look at, like, I'm a friggin' git ninja over here. So basically, I accidentally committed it with the stupid commit message that was just a placeholder, and now I've replaced it with the real commit message. So, should we try that again? Drum roll. Oh! Yes! And I'm going to be bold. Oops, not that one. I'm going to be super bold. And by the way, I might get my wrist slapped for this. So all of you guys encouraged me to do this, and there was peer pressure and all that stuff. So they had a gun to my head, and I couldn't help myself, and all of that, right? Dang. All right. So now,
Yep.
That work? Help me with my justification, folks.
470 comment issues are low risk, right?
I'm just kidding. All right. How about that? Worthy of committing to both branches. Thank you so much, everyone who helped out with this amazing issue. This is the #1 most commented issue in the queue right now, and it's amazing to see it close. Famous last words? Question mark. Anyway. Okay. Actually, I could copy my cow say. Actually, not that. Okay, and we'll find out if WebChick loses her job next week. So tune in. Seriously, this is amazing. This is amazing work, and I'm really, really happy to see it in. That's just fantastic. Because I know a lot of people. This issue basically originated from this team. Like we started talking about this, like even on the first meeting, I think. And it was, you know, Christine did the design, and then it was implemented by people on this team and reviewed by people on this team, and you know, piggyback back and forth. And I just think this is like a really awesome. It's a community-driven improvement that didn't come from some company that's like, we ought to do this. You know, it's just like really, really great, and it's a huge.
Yeah, it's a huge, great model for the team, I think. Great.
Yep. So
Congratulations, Christina.
Yes.
I'm so
Christina.
And also a lot of people worked on that. A lot of.
I know, but you gave them something to work on, so that's actually really, really cool. I see I'm the only one with my pirate face on, so. Anyway, but seriously, Christina, well done. Can everyone give her a round of applause? Yay! Woohoo! All right, now hopefully that won't get rolled back. But anyway, so we'll go with that. Hey, Ted, you're on the phone. And you're muted.
Yeah, I'm here, and I found my mute button.
All right, cool. Did you want to talk to us about Place Block?
Sure. So I'll share my screen. So basically, I talked to Peter Welanin on this weekend about Place Block and sort of things that would need to get done to make it finished. So I guess the big thing we were talking about is the sorting block issue. So I'm assuming all you guys have seen the regular way it works, because probably that stuff that didn't get talked about here, right? But because it just sort of happened. But anyways, when you place a block, there's not a good way to sort it at the end of it. So there's also a so right now we're hoping to get the off-canvas tray into Drupal 8.3. So I have a patch here that does the tray, but I don't have a patch that does the sorting, but I could tell you what I had talked to Peter about. So basically, place the block, and this screen is unchanged. Pick a block. So here is, I added the patch to just make it use the off-canvas. And how it works now is it would actually make a modal. So that's the first change. Place a block, then it opens up again over here. I'll save it. So right now it's added this, but it's added it to the bottom, and there's no real way, if you wanted to move it somewhere in between, you would have to either, you could do configure block, but that is difficult because, no, wait, it's not even here. I guess you can't do it here because weight's not here. I thought weight was here. I guess it's not. So you'd have to go to manage structure and then do the sorting there. So what Peter had suggested is when you first go into place block, there would actually be something along the lines of you have the plus here, but you would also have like some icon here that would donate sorting. So you'd click the sort and it would open up in the right hand, like with the place block, except you would see the blocks that are currently in this region, and which would include, of course, the ones you can't see, because there obviously could be ones that are there, but for visibility reasons, you can't see them. So I'm going to open up a new tab to show that. So it would basically be, if we were sorting the sidebar first, it would basically be just this section here without any of this, but so basically just this first column of this section. And you would sort it and you would just say, you know, save, and then immediately you would be shown back this page with the sorting, with the sorted blocks. So the thought there is that if you just placed a block and you got back here, what you would have to do is you have to hit place block again and then sort, or if you haven't placed a block, you just hit place block and then sort the first time. The problems with it, which we may want, you know, we could address later, would be really, if you're placing a block, what's the real chance you actually want it just to be at the end? You probably always want to have the ability to sort it. So one thought was, after you place it, instead of just going back and seeing the screen like this, you would see the tray over on the right away with the ability to sort the one you just placed. So obviously the drag and drop would be the, you know, what people would want more, but as far as something we could potentially get in really quickly and improve upon, that was the idea. So questions, thoughts?
Yeah. So I think that the idea of having people directly see the sorting page that has the blocks in the region in the off canvas, instead of having to go through a process to get back to that, is probably the best way to go there based on the test.
Yeah, so you mean like after you place it and come back here, and as soon as you're back here, you have the sort open up automatically?
Yeah, so as soon as you click the place block, enter that form, and then it would immediately show you that region in the off canvas. So it's like you didn't finish the process yet until you've decided where it goes.
Okay. Yeah, so we go here, we add it, we pick a block, and as soon as I save the block here, then it shows up again.
Yeah, so it'd show the regions there.
Yeah, so show that just that particular region, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you're right. It's better. It's a little technically more difficult, but I'm sure we can figure it out. No, you're right. It's better. No, that's good.
What issue can I leave a comment to that effect on, so that we have this in public?
Let me find that.
Or maybe Ted can leave a comment, since you were at the meeting and I was not.
Yeah, trying to see it.
I just really like leaving comments during the meeting, so that I don't like technical debt coming out of meetings, basically.
Separate, expose, sort form. No, it's not even Drupal 4. Place block. No. Yeah, let me look here. Block module.
What's the issue again? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're actually. Well, I guess there is one issue, but it's not really formalized. Maybe this would just be a way to. Yeah, I guess this is the issue. I'll put this in the chat. So basically, this is the issue to normalize the off canvas, and this is the patch I have that basically opened that stuff in the off canvas. So I guess the sorting would happen in the off canvas, so it's kind of related. So yeah, I can leave a comment here. And maybe it's a related issue to introduce.
By the way, Roy, did you agree with what Emily just said?
I do, yes.
You should also
It's so awesome to have like actual designy people we can talk to once a week.
Yeah.
But I'm blocked on things. It's like, yay.
That's my issues. You just see if it's actually there, a separate one. Sort, add sort, spreading, sort, display block based on block content, provide helpful, block extensibility, trying to keep it from managing block visibility. I'll just leave a comment here. We should also make the sorting of blocks in the region. It was just added to as the last step in the process. And the array with so the other problem or thing we were thinking about is that solves the problem for sorting a block that you just added, but potentially if you're, potentially one thing you might want to do is sort the ones that are existing. So I guess that's what Peter was thinking initially. If we added it and we had that sort here, that would solve both problems. But do we just say, well, we're not going to solve the problem of sorting blocks that are already on the page in place block? Or do we make a way, since we're going to build that form to sort a particular region, do we allow people to get to that form without actually having just added a block?
So when I was doing testing and asked people how they would resort blocks that were already there, they said that they would click on the little edit icon on the individual block they wanted to move. Yeah. They said they would go to the configure block to sort it if they didn't see anything else on the page. So that might be something.
So that wouldn't actually give them the ability to, though.
So if we...
But we could add a sort thing here. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Okay, so instead of up on the plus one.
Yeah, add block is something else than rearranging it. So
okay.
We should probably not conflate the two.
Yeah, so for each of these we would, or I guess for each, so I guess if we did that, then really that would kind of be here anyways, right? Just add the sort, whether they're in the place block mode or not.
But where would it go? It will go to the admin page, or it will
So
that one, this one.
Well, the thought would be add like when a new contextual link that says sort blocks. As soon as you do that, it would open up that tray, but with just this these blocks that are there, not the whole thing, but just this. So I'd be like, oh, I'm going to move that one up there, and just hit save, but have that all show up over here.
Okay.
Is that what others were thinking?
Well, I haven't it clear, but I guess that's a good solution.
Emily, did people even think about or want to drag the actual blocks and see what happens?
They did assume they could drag the blocks initially, and then when they realized they couldn't, that's when they went to the edit. So
Right.
yeah, people definitely assumed they'd be able to grab them and move them around.
Mhm.
Yeah, the difficult thing is with with sort links on the individual blocks, we have to kind of make clear that you're sorting within a region, right? We can't promise.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we
could
could
not
give them.
promise that this is arranging it across regions or something.
Yeah, we could give them some visual heads up that, you know, when it says sort and shows up over here, like we have this visual that this one is activated when, you know, because it's colored differently. So I don't know, we could do something where we color the region or color all the blocks that are in, you know, are being sorted, I guess.
Maybe adding another line around the region itself.
Yeah.
That it will delimitate in somehow the region.
Okay, so also in a follow-up, add a new contextual link to for each block. That would open tray with blocks to sort. Yeah, I have to take off. Thank you for the feedback. Talk with UX team. I'll clean up this comment later. Also in follow-up, add new contextual link block that would open the tray with blocks, just blocks. Okay. All right, thanks, y'all. Sorry to just throw that out there and then leave, but I do have to go. But thank you for the feedback. Okay, bye.
Thanks, Ted. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
All right.
Back to the partying for the status page.
Woo! Party! Yeah. With our party hats. Woo! All right. I think that's everything.
That is everything for today.
Yeah.
That was a great meeting. Here's our cake.
Yeah.
And yes. All right. We made full use of Google
Bye-bye.
Effects. We took it offline. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.